It's time to switch. The lower seeds get the home court advantage now in round 1, game 3. I can't wait. It's going to be very exciting to see how these teams react when they get back home. What's up, everybody? This is Karen. This video, I'm giving my NBA playoff predictions for Thursday, April 24th and Friday, April 25th. But before I get started here, I want to talk a little bit about the stats I use to make these predictions. These are very popular stats, and you hear the announcers and the commentators talk about these stats quite often. Basically, there are 3 main stats. The offensive rating, or O rating, that's the number of points scored by a team per 100 possessions. Of course, the higher number, the better. And the top 10 teams in the NBA have offensive ratings above 117.0. On the other side of the ball, defensive rating, or D rating. This is the number of points allowed by the team per 100 possessions. And of course, the lower, the better here. And the top 10 teams have a defensive rating below 112. So above 117 for an offensive rating and below 112 for a defensive rating are very good. The third and maybe the most important stat is number of possessions, or the pace of the game. Because if you take both of the offensive rating and defensive rating and multiply them by the number of possessions in a game, or the pace in the game, you get a good prediction of the offensive points and the defensive points scored and allowed per team. So that's what we use to make these predictions. But I go one step further. You hear a lot of people talk about this, and they say the offensive rating and defensive rating for a team, but you don't hear this as much, and I think this is very important. Let me show you an example with the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Oklahoma City Thunder have an offensive rating of 119.3 for all their games and a defensive rating of 106.1. Both of those are elite numbers. The average for the league is about 113.7, at least in the regular season. I adjust that slightly for the playoffs. But this doesn't tell you how they perform at home or on the road. At home, of course, with friendly rims and a supportive crowd, they have an even higher offensive rating of 121.0 and even better defensive rating of 105.3. So the Oklahoma City Thunder are lead. This is top 2 in offensive ratings, and this is number 1 defensive rating at home for all the NBA teams. I cannot imagine any team beating them. They're going to have home court advantage throughout the playoffs. So we'll see what happens. But for the away games, of course, the teams in a hostile environment, their offensive rating goes down to 117.6, and their defensive rating goes up to 107.0. Again, defense rating, the lower the better. So this going up, it means it's worse. These are still pretty good numbers. In fact, the 107.0 is excellent for defense. So they're even an elite team on the road. However, if you're just using the total stats over here and not separating between home and away, then I don't think the predictions are going to be as accurate. For all the stats I show you the home stats for the home team and the away stats for the away team to get more accurate, more precise predictions. Let's take a look at the games for April 24th. Pistons at home versus the Knicks. Now check this out down here. The defensive ratings are not very good for the Knicks when they're away. We have this very, very close, 109.4 to 109.0. I had to go out to a decimal point here, 218 for the total. Pistons are about a 0.4 point favorite, 52% chance to win according to this model. And the FanDuel line as of April 24th, 8 a.m. was New York Knicks -1. So this is kind of a toss-up game. I'm not sure if anybody really knows how this is going to go. By the way, the Pistons played in the last game in New York. I think that the Pistons here are live to win this game. I'm not going to bet this game, but I think they're going to win. At 9:30 p.m. tonight, the Grizzlies are at home against the Thunder. And now here we go. This is what I just showed you on that chart. The Grizzlies' offensive rating on the road is 117.6, very high, and their defensive rating is 107.0 on the road. So amazing stats here for an excellent team. But the Grizzlies have a better offensive rating at home, of course, and a better defensive rating. We had a 102 pace as a prediction. Still, we have the Thunder winning 117 to 114. Again, this is rounded numbers here. This is 232. Negative 3.3 favorites for the Thunder and a 63% chance of winning this game according to the FanDuel Sportsbook. We have the Memphis Grizzlies at plus 9.5. That's a lot of points at home. So this is one that I'm probably going to take here. I'm going to bet the spread here. Memphis Grizzlies giving 9.5 points. The late game tonight, April 24th, are the Clippers at home against the Nuggets. Now check this out. The Clippers have an excellent defensive rating. In fact, this is the number 2 defensive rating at home in the entire league, second only to the Thunder. The pace is 96.2. We have the Clippers winning 113 to 106, a total of 219 and -6.8 spread for the Clippers, and a 76% chance of them winning this game. According to the FanDuel Sportsbooks, we have the Clippers at -5. Now, not just because of how they performed in Denver the last game, but the defensive rating for Denver on the road is 115.1. That is not a good defensive rating. So I'm actually going to take this one as well. The Clippers at home to cover a 5-point spread. Here again is the fact that the defensive rating for the Clippers is the second best in the league. The first game on Friday, April 25th, we have the Magic at home against the Celtics. Look at these defensive ratings. Very low, very excellent defensive ratings for both teams. 91.2 pace, 102 to 95 for the Celtics, a 197 total here, negative 6.7 spread for the Celtics, 76% chance of winning the game. On FanDuel, we have the Celtics -5-point favorites. Now, I'm not exactly sure about this one. They're only giving the Magic 5.5 points at home. My model's giving it 6.7. I think the Magic are going to give the Boston Celtics a much tougher time when the Magic are at home. So this is definitely one that I'm probably going to bet as well. Orlando at home plus 5.5 points. The next game are the Bucks at home against the Pacers. Now, this is the first time we've seen in this video the Pacers have a negative 0.9 net rating on the road. What does that mean? That means they give up more points on the road than they score. So not a great defense for the Pacers here. The Bucks have a really good offensive rating at home and a really solid defensive rating as well. So according to my model, the score is going to be 117 to 111 for the Bucks, 227 for the total. The Bucks are 6.2 point favorites here, 74% win rate. According to FanDuel, the Bucks are negative 4.5 point favorites. My model says that's a little bit better, and I agree with that. So again, I'm going to go with another home team here to cover the spread, negative 4.5 for the Bucks. The final game on Friday are the Timberwolves at home against the Lakers. And the Timberwolves here, check out this defense rating at home, 110.4. Excellent defensive rating. The Lakers are negative 2.4 on the road. They give up about 2.5 points more per 100 possessions than they score. So that's not really good for the Lakers here. We have the Timberwolves winning 112 to 103, 215 for the total, negative 8.7 spread for the Timberwolves. And an 82% chance of winning this game. FanDuel only has them as a negative 3 favorite here. So this is another one I'm seriously considering taking. I probably won't make all of these bets, but the lower the number is and the bigger the gap here between the model here, the more likely I'm going to make that bet. Hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you enjoyed the stats and the breakdown on the stats. These are the stats that I use to make these predictions. I know there are several ways to do a model, but this is a very straightforward, very basic, but very powerful prediction model for NBA. Good luck on your best bets. Let's go.